All right, welcome back to Etlei. Today, we are going to set out, hopefully, what the modern case system is going to look like. We're going to start by going into the proto-lang, seeing what sorts of relationships we want to get out of it, and how we might do that. Things I want that I know I want. I want the verb to be at the end, because that will... Languages with the verb at the end tend to have postpositions, and I know I want my case marking on the end of the noun, so I want it to come from postpositions. So I'm going to make the proto-lang just strongly head final. That gets the verb at the end, that gets the preposition at the end, things like that. Well, I guess preposition at the end makes no sense, it'd be a postposition. And dependent marking, because I don't want the verbs to get marked much. I want the verbs in the modern lang to be really simple. What I want to come out of this is I want cases and I want adpositions. And I thought about whether or not I just wanted like a ton of noun cases. And I was thinking about it. I was thinking, that gets cumbersome. I don't know. That's gonna start to get, I think, a little too repetitive. If it's just noun. I think I'm going to actually want a mix of cases and adpositions for the language. And I think what's going to end up happening, I think I'm going to end up with prepositions because I have an idea of what I want to do with stuff. I might continue, I don't know. I haven't decided what the word order of the modern lang is going to be yet. But I have decided that I want both a fairly present case system, but to have lots of adpositions and stuff like that, just to help break it up. A good mix of both, which means I need some of the most common noun relationships to be cases, but I also need some of them to be adpositions. That way I make sure there's a mix. And a quick note for later, will be satellite framed. Again, that's just me, basically the fancy way of saying stop marking the verb. Just stop having lots of verbs, just go do things. And so, yeah. Perfect. Okay, so let's look at what kind of cases we want. I do know that I'm going to make it a nominative accusative language because I've been doing way too many ergative absolutive languages, and it's time for me to go back to, go to something something I haven't done in a while. So I think I'm going to go nominative accusative. I think that's also just going to help me, I always confuse myself with ergative languages. So we'll go nominative accusative, and I want both of those to be their own case. I do want there to be a clear distinction between subject and object most of the time. And I want genitive to be its own. And I love alienable and inalienable possession. So actually, I'm going to say inalienable and alienable are going to be different, whether they're both cases or not. One could be an adposition with a case, something like that. We'll see. I think it would be neat almost to have a possessive case, genitive, true genitive case for inalienable, and then alienable maybe have a preposition with the genitive. I think that would be neat. Possibly prep plus gen. And then I'm just going to start marking these gen, ac, nom. That's a good point to maybe chit chat while I'm doing cases, so I first learned about cases, really, when I was getting into Latin and ancient Greek. And so my knowledge of cases stems primarily from them, but then, I've done some reading and stuff like that differently. I think I'm going to split these into my alignment cases. That's not how you spell alignment. Alignment cases and location cases. So this will be like motion and location and stuff like that. I think I want a motion from location at motion to. I think I want those to be cases. I really like that. And it seems like something worth, I don't know, I just like it. I don't have to justify my opinions when they're just opinions. Do I want any, I don't want to get more specific than that at location, I don't think. Do I want to have location, do I want to have nearby and inside be different? That's a good question. If I make them the same, then you could use the case. The bare case would be, you know, whatever's most appropriate to the noun. So if I said, you know, whatever case on the word cup, it would mean in a cup, probably. Well, I guess context could change it, I suppose. But anyway, and you could mark it with prepositions, which is kind of the way Latin and Greek handle it, where the bare case is going to be able to take all sorts of meanings depending on context, and then you can specify with a preposition. Or I could distinguish being inside and being near. I think that would be interesting. I could have, say, a locative and an inessive. I kind of like that, and I kind of want to try that. We'll have an inessive. We'll have a locative. Motion from is ablative. Motion toward is allative. Those are never confusing. This is the worst part of Latin, by the way. Just for everyone who's thinking about learning Latin, I recommend it. It's a neat language. But ad means toward and ab means away, and it is garbage. It confuses people all the time. Do I want anything else? I don't think so. Locative can handle nearby. It can even handle, like, contact, I think. Yeah. No, I think that's good for location, and I'll have those be cases. And then I don't want to get too obnoxious. Ablative and allative, that's fine. I don't need to get more specific. Let's see. I'll get more specific by adpositions. Do I want a separate instrumental? How do I want to handle? He hit a nail with a hammer. He hits a nail with a hammer. How do I want to handle that? Do I want to have a separate case for it? Do I want that to be... I'll make a capital letter for those things that I know is going to be its own case. Do I want it to be different from comitative? Do I want prepositions or cases for this? I like the idea of having a case for it, but as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm just not sure. I could see myself liking either one, which I suppose is good. Yeah. It would be nice to have sort of like a catch-all case for just like all the stuff that nouns do. One that's sort of like the way the ablative works in Latin, where, I mean, it has its own specific uses, but it's also just like, whatever, because, you know, sometimes you're just doing stuff and there's a noun involved, and so they just throw it into the ablative for anything like that. I think here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna have one of these cases do that. Yeah, I'm gonna have one of these cases take care of that. I think I'm gonna add a vocative, but only because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the subject grab a marker. I'm gonna have there be a marker for the subject at some point. Maybe I'll have the proto-link be ergative and turns into nominative accusative. That's a possibility. Or what? No, okay, that was too much. But like somehow you're marking the subject. The direct object could be. It's gonna have to get marked sometime for it to be nominative accusative, though. That's a question. But the vocative could be the totally unmarked. Although I could make the vocative marked. There's lots of ways I could do that. But I like having a vocative case. Well, put it this way, I actually don't know if I love having a vocative case. It feels like a case. I don't mind having it. I'll correct myself. I don't mind having a vocative case. I just like it never gets used. And it's often identical with the nominative anyway in most places. So, I don't know. Maybe I won't have a vocative. I'll have to figure out how to handle that. But that's easy. I mean, I can just use a nominative and prosody to do that. I think that's good. What else do we have? We could do... Okay. If I'm... So allative, I'm going to say, also takes care of the indirect object. That'll be good. How do I want to do benefit? I did something for someone else. That could just be a preposition. That'd be fine. I think... I'm actually kind of liking the 7 cases here. I've got location, I've got something interesting with the locative and inessive being separate. And then subject, object, possession. Let me just scroll through this list and see if there's anything here that I really want to be its own case. Let's see. I'm not necessarily seeing stuff. I'm just adding myself notes as I see things. I'll have location and state. That's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that'll work for which cases we have. So officially, we are going to have, in the modern language, we are going to have a nominative case. We are going to have an accusative case. We are going to have a genitive case. We're going to have an ablative case. We're going to have an allative case. We're going to have a locative case and an inessive case. Perfect. In the next video, I will sit down and derive well, I might derive one at a time and then flesh out a little bit of what I think it's going to do in the modern language. Depends. I might do more than one per episode. We'll see what happens. But I'm just going to put my notes in now. I want this one to do inalienable. I want the alienable possession to be gen plus preposition. I want the allative case to take care of the indirect object, and I want the inessive case to do partition. Nominative, of course, is subject. Accusative, of course, is direct object. The ablative, of course, is motion from. I am going to do that thing that everyone does, I think, and probably do the ablative as an agent. So like if you have a passive verb. Although I might not have passive verbs. To be entirely fair, I actually don't think I will. Oh, that's the wrong one. We'll see. Motion toward is its basic. Locative is location at. And the inessive's basic is location inside. Okay. Alright, for the next video, figure us out.